So everyone has family members, right? You have elderly people, young people in your family. Does anybody know of any family members that have autoimmune disease? You know somebody? So, okay, so you probably know. Well, autoimmune disease is a disease where your body attacks itself. Like there's nothing you can do about it. There's really some of the autoimmune diseases, there's no cure for them. There's really some only medicine that can treat the symptoms of the disease. So today I chose lupus because I know someone who's very close to me that deals with this disease. And it's a very serious disease. A lot of people don't know anything about it because although it is a common disease, it's kind of not so common. So people have it, but yet they really don't have it. So lupus was discovered in the 13th century. It was discovered by a lot of scientists. It kind of was an accidental discovery. They really didn't just say, hey, this is what this is. They kind of had, it took over 10 years for them to kind of just say, okay, this is a disease within itself. It's also called the imitator disease because it has a lot of symptoms that imitate other diseases. So it can take the doctor up to 2 years to say, okay, you have lupus, because they really don't know. And lupus affects so many bodily organs that it's kind of hard to pinpoint it. So what is lupus? It's just a chronic disease where your body attacks its own immune system. There is 4 different types of lupus. There's discoid, and it's also called cutaneous lupus, where it affects your skin. And then there's systematic, which affects your organs. And then there's neonatal, where the mother has lupus, and then she can pass it to her siblings through birth. But they don't really have the disease. They have the symptoms at birth, and then after about 3 months of living, the symptoms, they go away. And then the last one is DIO, which is drug-induced lupus, where your body starts presenting symptoms of lupus from taking medicine that's giving you those symptoms, but you really don't have the disease. So diagnosis, there really is no diagnosis. There's no test. Like I said, it could take up to 2 years for someone to diagnose you with it because of the symptoms. They're all over the place. In the U.S., women are more likely to get it than men. Like you can tell, like it's a drastic difference. And African American women are more likely to get it than any other race. They're 3 times more likely to get it versus Caucasian women, and then they're like 1.5 to twice to double times more getting it than Asian or Hispanics or any other race with pigmented skin. There are 4 symptoms that can qualify you as having lupus. There's 11 symptoms that they say you have, but if you have 4 of those 11 symptoms, then that's how they determine whether you have the disease or not. So if you have 4 presenting symptoms, then you have the disease. The symptoms are fever, fatigue, you get a butterfly rash along your face, where your face breaks out of the bridge of your nose and right under your eyes. And they have joint pain, and they also have like just muscle pain altogether. And photosensitivity, so the light can affect their skin and their eyes, and if they're really sensitive to light, then that's another sign of having lupus. And then treatment is just really symptomatic. Like it depends on what symptoms you have as far as how you're treated for the disease. Some people, they give them steroids. Some of them, they give them antibiotics for the inflammation of the joints and the skin. And then others, they just kind of give them pain relievers to kind of just bake down the pain of the disease itself. Quality of life is, lupus is a very episodic disease. So one day somebody can be fine and they're outside, they're playing, they're okay. And then tomorrow they can be in the hospital. Like it's very drastic changes of what can happen. So quality of life is greatly affected by lupus because you just don't know what tomorrow brings. You never know. Like today you can be okay, you have fun. Tomorrow you wake up and you have to go to the hospital because you just went down that fast. So people with lupus, they tend to live very long. They live a normal life, but they have to be sure to maintain exercise. They have to be very closely watch their diet. They have to watch, like everything that we do, they have to do it double. Like they just have to be very intact with their life, what they're eating, what they're doing, who they're around, the germs that they're exposed to, like some things that we don't think about. You know, we may not wash our hands as much. They have to really think about those things. stress levels have to be monitored with lupus. They can't stress out or they'll like break out, and it's like a domino effect of what'll happen with lupus. And as I said, it's very episodic. So people with lupus, they really don't show any symptoms if they're having a good quality of life. So there's a lot of people that walk around with the disease, which is another reason why a lot of people know about it, but they don't know about it because people really don't show the symptoms of having lupus. So in conclusion, my boyfriend has lupus and we've been together for almost 10 years. I've known him for a very long time. And he was diagnosed with lupus in 2011. And since then, he's been put on dialysis, which is once it gets really, really bad, they'll put you on dialysis because he has the one that affects your kidneys, which is called lupus nephritis. And your kidneys eventually, they don't eliminate waste like they should. So you have to implement something that can't do that for your body. So that's what he has, and that's why I chose this topic because it's very dear to my heart. But that's it.
Good job.
Did I make it?
6 minutes.
Okay. Good. Cool.